Your team ban.
Oh, right. It's Nick the Peasant here with the UBC eSports monthly draft. I think it's a monthly tournament. Anyways, the way it works is a bunch of people join, they sign up, they get placed onto
seconds to go.
Random teams, and they duke it out to see who's going to win. Unfortunately, I woke up a little bit late, so I don't know 100% whether games are being played and if anyone has won quite yet, but I'll update you guys with that information as it comes along to me.
10 seconds to go.
So we have a ban on Void and Death Prophet. So far, these bans pretty typical.
Reserve time.
So nothing's super surprising here. It'll definitely be interesting because whenever you cast games that are that are being played by people who aren't like what I like to call mega pro, sometimes you see strats that are a little bit less typical. So there's some room for imagination and interpretation. But as it stands, kind of just taking a long time to pick both these teams here. Actually running into reserve time a little bit on the dire side. I guess they're carefully considering here their second ban. They do ban Jakiro. This might be
Radiant team ban.
A respect ban, or Jakiro could potentially, I guess, be here. They really don't like playing against ban coming
Dire's
out on Razor. That could also be part of the Radiant's plan for a mid. Ogre Magi first pick. I love Ogre Magi. He's hilarious, and he's just a, kind of an exciting hero to play because of the fact that he gets those multicasts, which makes it really fun to watch.
Mirana.
So we have Mirana here coming up on the other
Radiant's
side.
pick.
Interesting first pick. For a while, Mirana was very popular. But she hasn't really been as popular lately, but she's a good pick if you can land those arrows. Especially if you have a team
10
composition that lets
seconds
you
to
set them
go.
up pretty nicely. Maybe with a Jakiro. Most
5
times you see it like on the
seconds.
Bane's, kind of the most popular one. Because it makes it really, really easy
Reserve
to land
time.
the arrows, just because of the fact that Nightmare leaves in place for so long. But yeah, for a second pick, I mean, Mirana's probably going to be off lane. She could be roaming as a support. She could be mid. She's a very versatile laner, so it's kind of hard to shoehorn her into a specific role. Sorry for like the deep breaths. Started my morning with a run outside. Earthshaker, another good pick.
Dire's pick.
Just really solid all around. One thing about Earthshaker is if you don't manage to get that the Fisher off, or sorry, not the Fisher off. Well, obviously if you don't manage to get a Fisher off, I'll be doing something wrong. But if you don't manage to get your Blink Dagger relatively soon, it does curtail your effectiveness somewhat, because it's really hard for you to get in the middle of the fight and Echo Slam, which is the big
10
team
seconds to
fight
go.
component of Earthshaker's abilities.
5 seconds.
So the Dire now with 2 heroes to consider here.
Reserve time.
They're going to have to make a careful choice as their second pick. And these first 2 picks are very important. They kind of, most of the time, they sort of determine the shape of the team. Yeah, basically how either side is going to try and build, whether it be an aggressive early game or something with, you know, roaming supports, established lane dominance, or a more late game focused team that's just hoping to outwit the other team and really make it past the 25-30 minute mark and then really start rolling. So an HNAC version pickup here on the Dire side. A is really Very effective hero. That ice ball is just the worst thing ever. Getting hit by that really ruins your day. We tend to see AA fairly often. Chilling Touch also in
10
lane
seconds to
gives a lot
go.
of potential for kills early on because it adds just so much damage. I think it adds 50 damage.
Radiance
50 damage on
ban.
that first cast. The Radiant ban
Dyer's
Visage.
ban.
I don't know if would have seen Visage, but I guess we won't now. Visage is, I mean, Visage is good. If you're good at Visage,
10
good
seconds
at
to
micro.
go.
He's crazy. He's
5
crazy strong.
seconds.
You can chain stun with those birds. You can block camps. You can scout. Snipe off people running away, towers. But I don't know. I'm not sure if
ban.
if these people in this tournament are that good. Maybe there's a really good Visage player. Again, might be a respect band. There's a band here on Storm Spirit. So it looks like the Dire side is just getting rid of all the spirits. We'll see if they get rid of Earth Spirit
10
as well.
seconds to go.
And the Radiant really focusing on
Radiant's
banning
pick.
out that mid hero, which is interesting. Maybe they have one in mind and they're trying to eliminate all the possibilities that could really mess with it. I mean, they've gotten rid of Razor, who's traditionally a counter to Viper, and some other mid heroes that are tough to play against, like OD. They could also just be banning people that they don't possibly.
10 seconds to go.
I'm gonna check here that my Twitch.
5 seconds. Reserve time.
Yeah, time to get a glass of water, so I'm gonna get like coffee later on as I try and continue talking for the next 40 minutes or something like that. Okay, so that's set up properly. Alright, so it's the Radiant's third pick now. They do have what looks like an offlane and support, so they're looking to pick probably a support, a mid, and a carry. Different teams favor different components of their makeup differently. Some of them like to pick
Dyer's pick.
mid and carry last. Some of them like to pick supports later, but generally supports are picked earlier on, unless there's an opportunity to pick some really strong heroes that made it banning phase section, which is interesting because they did ban out like Void and Death Prophet. We still could have seen
10 seconds to go.
Lycan, a Brewmaster.
5 seconds.
They
Reserve
didn't decide to pick
time.
those up, which is a bit surprising. Because those heroes are very strong. But if you don't know how to play them very well,
10
then
seconds to go.
then there's no point. I mean,
Templar Assassin.
just you're just shoehorning yourself
Radiance
into something
pick.
because it's supposed to be good. Got some BM here in the channel. I don't know who Stu is, but that's pretty awesome. Sometimes people like to tease and make fun while they're playing, so it's always nice getting heckled by the crowd. Trying to focus.
10 seconds to go. 5 seconds.
Maybe the hecklers will come over here. I don't know if I'm not sure if I want them, but
Reserve time.
they should know that there is a stream should they wish to watch. I'm also in game though. I totally forgot about that. Hopefully it's picking me up properly. I should probably check. Oh, there you go. I have to enable open mic. So sorry about that, guys. I
10
totally forgot that I was
seconds to
also
go.
in game broadcasting. So I was saying earlier that these picks
Dyer's
they make
pick.
sense. They've kind of picked out the support roles. They have their 2 mids now. Invoker versus Templar Assassin is not the best counter pick, but if he's a good Invoker player, then it shouldn't be too much of a problem. The bans are a little bit atypical. Things like Visage being banned and the hero are a little bit strange, but they might potentially be
10
respect
seconds
bans
to
or something
go.
like that, just to
5 seconds.
Riki.
just to what? Just to keep players on the
Radiant
team under
team
control.
banned.
And we see a Rikimaru, something that's not super typical. Played against a Riki actually yesterday, and
Dire
it's very
team
annoying if you
banned.
don't get the detection up. So if you do have detection up rather reliably, especially early on, that's kind of the trick before he starts getting momentum, then you can really shut him down pretty nicely. But if you don't have that detection, you're
10
just
seconds to
waiting
go.
to get severely punished because
5 seconds.
he can get to be quite a handful. So
5 seconds.
So we'll see what happens with Rikimaru. So this last ban here on Morphling, the Radiant side is still looking
Radiant's
for
pick.
a carry. I don't like Morphling. I don't like playing against him. I don't like playing as him. So I approve of this ban. As a matter of personal bias, in terms of they do pick Slark up. So
Dire's pick.
see, they still have to get Rikimaru could serve as an offlaner, but they still have to, or it could be a carry. So the Dire here has to make a choice whether Riki's going to be offlane or carrying. I don't know. A carry might be a little bit safer, but if they do put Rikimaru offlane, he's got pretty weak mid game. Unless he chooses to max out his cloud or something like that.
10 seconds to
Just to give him
go.
more reach in those early team fights.
5 seconds.
But yeah, they've got 3 seconds of reserve time once this runs out, so they really have to choose quickly. Hopefully they don't end up randoming.
Reserve
Don't end up randoming
time.
Clunk Guy's pick. And they end up picking up Slardar. Slardar,
Radiant's pick.
really strong mid game. He's got that bash. Thing is, his mark is good against Invis heroes, but Slark isn't dependent on not being revealed by True Sight. So would have been cool if we saw something like a Bloodseeker, but it would have been really hard to fit into that lineup. So. And almost everyone's picked out their heroes. We're just waiting on the last player. I think it's Okapi to grab Ogre Magi, and the game will begin. These teams, neither of them have banners, so no fancy team names for me to struggle with. I'll just stick with the Radiance and the
10 seconds to go. 5 seconds.
Still waiting on Okapi here. Oh, and there's a pause. I guess someone disconnected. So while we wait, we can call out the players. There's UBC Sinclair. So he's actually playing. He's one of the guys who was supplying the BM. UBC Sinclair on the Invoker. We have Weapon X here on the Mirana. Robbie playing the Slark. Kenny on the Earthshaker. Wu Cox L playing the Lion. And then on the Radiant side, there's Alan Scott. We have Speg HR. Spedger. I don't know how you're supposed to say that, but Frosty Cakes, rather appropriately, on the Ancient Apparition, and multiple Chinese letters, yeah, I guess just I don't know how to say Rikimaru's name, obviously. Now, my microphone is not picking me up as much as I would like. So we'll try dialing this up a little bit. I think that's going to be better. No. God. So we have some concerns here about lag in the chat. I'm just going to try to figure out what's up. So we're just going to wait for the reconnect. We can take the chance here to kind of analyze what we think, or how well we think the teams are going to do. We have pretty balanced on either side. Oh, I didn't notice or think, but the Slardar actually against the Mirana, if you can get that mark-off when you're going on someone, it's actually pretty decent because you're able to prevent them from being able to escape with their invisibility, so somewhat valid. And I mean, he's a pretty strong hero. If you can get your Blink Dagger, it offers you that initiation. With an armlet, he just does a crazy amount of damage, even if he doesn't have that much farm, just as a result of amplified damage. And they'll be able to take easy Roches with the Templar Assassin, with the meld. Just all that negative armor going to help a lot in fights. They won't necessarily be stacking the meld reduction on top of Slardar's amplified damage, but if they do, it's going to do a whole lot of extra damage. So we have that to look forward to. Okay, I imagine both teams are ready now, and we just have to wait for them to start up. Maybe I can play with my settings a little bit more. I have open mic at 100, so maybe I'll put it on push talk or something instead. Get that. I might, I don't know.
Ha. Ha.
Okay, so everyone's heading out. Ancient Apparition going down towards bottom. It looks like it's actually going to be an aggro tri-lane, which will be pretty interesting. Maybe it's just Slardar by himself. Yeah, Slardar getting... Oh, no, it doesn't have a ward. A little bit messy right now. It's hard to tell what's actually going on. So there's a tri-lane here on bottom with Slark. Slark's got a Stout Shield and Quelling Blade, looking to farm and not get too much damage from Harass. Earthshaker's loaded up on those wards. Looks like he actually took most of the support burden. Lion actually getting boots first, which is a little bit interesting. We'll see if he's able to catch anyone out with a stun as a result of that. It looks like it is going to be an aggro tri-lane here bottom, so a little bit of a risky move
Battle will
from the Radiant.
in 30 seconds.
It is going to give Ricky Mario an opportunity to farm, but he's going to be up against a Mirana top, so it's not necessarily going to be the best thing for him. He did go for Invis first, should be able to grab this rune pretty easily. But he might want to consider just standing right on top of the rune spot, because if he doesn't, Mirana can still grab it, even though he's invisible and right there. I mean, he doesn't want to risk getting hit by an arrow, but at the same time, there's no detection on Mirana, which he would have seen.
It begins.
And
double damage.
he did get the DD, so that's pretty good. It's a big fight here happening. The Fissure doesn't really trap anyone; it just prevents them from getting out to lane. Chilling Touch first on the A, giving a lot of extra damage. They're not really able to catch up though, because Lion got that boots first. Slark cutting off towards the side. They're not gonna be able to catch him either. So some early action here. They did get a lot of damage out onto the Radiant side. A nice D ward happening already. They're gonna get rid of that vision that the Radiant set up on the rune. And
No.
TA's here mid up against the Invoker. Let's open up the... Oh, this kills Death.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
And that first last hit is actually the Observer ward. So a pretty exciting start. Not your typical public matchmaking. This is people are trying hard. They've got their before the clock kills coming out, the D wards, fancy lanes. Ricky Maru choosing the TP back to the tower, a little bit strange. So they're actually going to run a dual lane here. Ancient Apparition in a lot of trouble. They're coming over to help him out, but he's going to be okay. Not quite enough damage on the Slark there to take him out in the duration. Lion actually coming up now towards top. It looks like it's going to be a Slark solo against the tri-lane. So both of these Invis heroes, or potentially, I guess you could say slippery heroes, going to be facing off against 3 other heroes. Ricky Mora definitely had a bit of an advantage or disadvantage because he's pretty dependent on his invisibility as an offlaner, and they have a sentry ward here covering a good chunk of his lanes, which can make it really difficult for him. We did see earlier he actually just had to back up. He didn't really have much of a choice in that regard, so I'm sure he'll be hoping that he won't have to go through that again. Although I know they have another sentry, so Ogre Magi choosing to harass with Ignite. That's 26 times 5. That's what, 130 versus 60 damage on the Fire Blast. So if you're going to go for harass, it's actually a good idea to put points in Ignite. Just because it helps a lot with putting out damage if you don't need the damage immediately. I like to level Fire Blast, but I like killing people. So, but initially you can usually put 2 points into Ignite first, and then level Fire Blast later to line up with your multicast nicely later on. Definitely a valid approach. So if you look here at these last hits, Slark actually doing really well here in the bottom lane. Slark not so much. He's actually got no last hits. Rikimaru does have 2, but he's also struggling. He is at full health, though. That regen from his invisibility helping a lot. He did get a point in Smoke Cloud, which is a good idea for him, just because it helps a lot with survivability. And they're really harassing this Slark away, as obviously as you can see by the fact that he doesn't have any last hits at all. A Smoke Gank coming out towards mid. This is a nice play from the Dire side. They're doing pretty well here in their lane. They don't really need to be on top of Slark as much. So they can afford to send people out towards mid to help out. And Rikimara pulling, I think he pulled. I don't think they did that for him, but pulling is cool. You get experience, you get gold you wouldn't get otherwise. You're able to last hit those jungle creeps. But the problem with pulling is if oh, Slark's actually TPing somewhere. Oh man, and Invoker getting the first blood here.
I believe
and managing to TP out. Oh, we should see a meld. Okay, there's the meld gonna save TH. He dodges the tower shot. And this Invoker's really BM, so I hope he loses. I don't like it when people are rude like that for no good reason. He's kind of been insulting people throughout, so we'll see what happens. But I'm cheering for the Dire side. I know I'm not supposed to be biased, but when people are rude like that, they deserve to lose. TA's gonna get a regen rune here bottom, which is really nice for her. She's able to fill up her bottle and get all the way back up to full health, so... What the heck? Oh no, regen rune, what the heck? Oh, I guess it disappeared right before she got there. Oh, that's so brutal. I imagine she was probably pretty excited about that if she did know that it was there, and actually ended up turning into a bounty rune, so a little bit less pleasant than it would have been otherwise. Slark, or taking a lot of damage here on the Rikimaru. Ogre Magi actually coming up, and they kill off the line. Can they turn here and also take out the Earthshaker? A lot of damage coming out from that chilling touch. Mirana continuing to fight. She might choose to jump forward here. They're both quite low on health. But if she gets under the tower, she's actually going to die. So a really nice TPs here from the Radiant. Going to make them pay for jumping over onto. And Slark actually gets a kill on Slark, which is a little bit surprising. Slark is not quite level 6 yet. He's on level 3. So it's definitely possible before he gets his ultimate, he's a lot less shifty. But yeah. Rikimaru is actually just spending a lot of time kind of hanging out, hiding. He's looking to get rid of that clarity. A nice little annoying move from him. Ogre Magi does lose his clarity as well, though. There's a Fisher coming out, going to save Mirana from the aggression. They need to watch out for the arrow coming back out towards them, but doing, oh my gosh, so much damage. There's the arrow we discussed earlier. Rikimaru chasing, get a stab. Oh, Riki dies as well, so a really painful turnaround here. A does manage to avoid the Invoker Sunstrike, and I'm surprised he's not actually being chased by anyone to try and get another kill off. But that doesn't end up happening. One bright side here is that Slardar's doing a really good job farming, but with those 2 kills, Mirana now kind of catching up as well in terms of farm. And Rikimaru continuing to struggle pretty badly because of those sentry wards. Doing a really good job shutting him down, reducing his options. So Tia actually went for a Bottle Crow, so she's gonna go ahead and get this bottle, and then she'll have a full bottle to continue giving herself some mana, but she's gonna choose to wait till she loses some health, I think, before she uses her bottle again, which makes sense. So I think Slardar's probably gonna get a quick blink after this, and then he should really participate in team fights, because his team does need him. They're sort of struggling a little bit. The Radiant does have a ward here, so they're aware that Ogre Magi is hanging around mid. And if we look at the net worth, TA is actually doing pretty well, considering Invoker did get a kill there when everyone dived in. She did get a kill as well, but he got first blood, so she's holding pretty nicely for herself, considering all that's occurred up to this point. They do deward the observer ward there for the mid, so they do have the opportunity here to run in and gank. Invoker, it looks like he's going Quas Exort, so a lot of annoying spells going to be coming out of him. Cold Snap, Sunstrike, Forge Spirits, all the good stuff. Rikimaru really just unable to farm. Oh, there's the Sentry Ward going to give Mirana vision. Would have liked to have seen her fire off a quick arrow here. She did have an opportunity for that. They're pinging out here. He uses a Smoke Cloud, which is an interesting choice. Ignite coming out as well. There's the Chilling Touch. Oh, she jumps in, but they're going to have sight. And the Ignite actually finishes off the Mirana, so... I don't know if they actually had sight on her. She was really just right on the edge of that cloud. But in the meantime, TA actually dies mid as a result of the Forge Spirits and probably Invoker's Cold Snap. So, a one-for-one trade in a sense. They do need this TA to have mid-game momentum, just because...
Illusion.
Interesting choice with the smoke. I think she's trying to get to the rune quickly. Invoker actually doesn't really have... oh man, this is going to be great. Really good choice here from the TA to come in there with that smoke to get to the rune quickly. She saw that her supports were nearby. She anticipated that Invoker was going for the rune. And she made him pay for that, so that was a good choice on her part. Slardar, meanwhile, taking a lot of damage here. Needs to sprint out. I'm not sure about the choice to stand and fight. He's not going to be able to finish him off in time. Does manage to get the line somehow, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, he was hitting the Slark, but Slark, I don't know. I would have run away. He got that 3-man stun off. He could have sprinted and run away. I don't think Earthshaker had enough for another Fissure. So he would have probably been able to distance himself, but I guess just a difference in playstyle, really, between the two. So once these supports get their level 6, the Dyers can be doing considerably better in terms of their kill potential in lane. Nice silence here coming up from the Rikimaru. Mirana's going to look to jump, and they really needed to do a little bit more to prevent her from doing that. Mirana ult is actually going to give them an opportunity to counter-initiate here on bottom. They're all quite low in health. So I'm not sure if TA going up top was really worth it for her because of the fact that it's quite hard to gank Mirana unless you have stuns like an Ogre Magi to set you up. Take a look at the net worth. The Radiant is leading by a little bit, getting a little bit more farm, and in terms of experience, the Dire is leading by a little bit, which makes sense because they've been ganking a lot. So, whereas the
Radiant's bottom tower is being
Radiant
attacked.
is being kind of spread out
Not
a little bit
that I
more
care
too,
one.
waiting for the time that
Radiant
last hit. They're
structures
actually
have been
beating down on the
fortified.
bottom tower.
Radiant's
A's in a
bottom
risky
tower
place here.
is
He's choosing to
under
pull
siege.
into the camp, which is a decent idea, but Slark's actually right nearby, so it's kind of risky.
Radiant's bottom tower is being
Yeah.
attacked. But just continue doing whatever it was you were doing.
It is going to give them the opportunity to put a lot of damage out onto the tower.
Radiant's
A is aware
bottom
that
tower is
Slark
under
is there.
siege.
The creep wave is cleared now. He's actually going to pull it back with him so they can continue beating on the tower. Definitely really a very cheeky
Radiant's
move here.
bottom tower is being
Invis
attacked.
coming out here on the TA. And they should be able to probably clear the tower in the next wave. The Radiant does have a ward up here on bottom, so they're aware that an Invis rune is available. And they're actually choosing to push the mid tower while the bottom tower is being pushed. So
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
is Slark gonna
Bad
choose to go
news
out
for
here?
the fans of
There's the
towers
stun.
out there.
He does use his ultimate though, and Tia actually blocks it
Dire's middle tower
with
is being
her
attacked.
with her body, so she saves
Dire's middle
A
tower
from that
has
damage.
fallen.
They're gonna be able to turn it around here. Watch out for the Sunstrike! Oh no! Okay, this guy's just an asshole. Wow. The BM pauses. I don't know. Maybe they know each other.
Dire's middle tower
But A
is
running
under
right
siege.
into that. You always have to be aware of the fact that that there's gonna be Sunstrike potential from an
Dire's top
Invoker when
tower
you're
is
playing,
being
so you
attacked.
kind of have to play very
Radiant's
strangely,
bottom tower is under siege.
just to compensate for the fact that you could potentially be hit with a huge pure damage nuke at any time.
Radiant's bottom tower has
Oh
been
man,
destroyed.
TA,
The mysteries
you just got
denied.
outplayed there, and they have a sentry here too, which actually provided them with sight. Doing a really good job putting up that I forget what it's called, like a frost wall or something.
Really punishing TA there for going in. Oh, and an aggressive blink here from the Slaughter. Needs to switch to strength treads, but one of the problems with... Oh man, he throws it in on top of a sentry. So the Radiant is really struggling here. They're doing well in the early game, but that's 2 kills now where they tried to make something happen and it really just got turned right back around onto them. So Blink's only on Slaughter, and oh man, Mirana finds A here in the jungle. A is gonna die as well. So yeah, the Radiant really picking up steam here, finding a lot of kills. I think the Dire's still in it, but they just have to play a little bit safer. They can't really jump in as gung-ho as they were, just because of the fact that they don't have sight in those areas, and if they jump forward like that... Okay, this is a nice opportunity here. There's the amplified damage coming out on the Invoker. He is throwing down his Ice Wall. He's trying to escape. He's getting... Oh god. He's getting a pretty significant respite. But it's going to be hard for him to match up against his Slardar, who can just beat him down, and potentially... Oh, there's a Cold Snap coming out. Oh, he misses his stun. This is really bad for him. He's coming in for the extra damage. Invoker trying to cut towards the rune, he does end up dying. So there's a kill there on Invoker. Some action happening top. They do manage to pick off the line. So the Radiant, or the Dire side now coming back, and they're kind of back to being even, I think. I don't know, the Radiant still has a pretty significant net worth advantage. Probably because of the fact that they picked off those 2 key heroes, TA and Slardar, whereas they got an Invoker and a Lion instead. Oh, and this Sentry Ward is just ruining lives. Slark just like hates himself. Not Slark, Rikimaru just hates himself. They do have sight here on the Slark, but he goes invisible, and it looks like Ogre Maja is gonna die. He's so tanky though; he's still alive. Doesn't manage to throw out an ignite here at the last second as an act of defiance. TA, I don't know why she's going an Invoker in these situations. She really needs to meld, but she can just get hit by an arrow. Oh, she did get hit by an arrow. Now the trick's coming out. TA knows that Invoker has the Ice Wall. Fuck, what's it called? Oh, it is called Ice Wall. It's actually called Ice Wall. She knows that Invoker does have the Ice Wall. She knows that he's showed her up pretty badly the last time she tried that. So she needs to really just adjust the way she's playing, because she's not going to find kills like that just running in. Oh, and A, why is he standing there? Sound's going to save AA for a little bit, but it's not going to be enough. Ogre Maja is coming in though, but there's only 2 of them and there's 4 of the other team, so it's going to be hard for them to defend. Meanwhile, Slardar here facing up against Invoker mid. TA wants to try and find a kill again, but I'm not convinced that it's going to happen. This Forge Spirit going to prevent... okay, maybe not. Needs to get the mark off. Okay, so no Ghost Walk available for the Invoker. We'll see. There's the Ice Wall again. You're getting a lot of damage in this time, though. Will they be able to finish him off? TA doesn't have a blink, so she's not going to be able to close the distance the way she would like to. She is a little bit faster, though. Lion taking out Ogre Magi top. There are 4 of them there, like we mentioned earlier. We'll see if there's a TP in here to help out the Invoker. TA really diving here for the kill. She does get the kill, so now she needs to find a way to get out, and really needs to go like meld or something. So much negative armor here as a result of the Forge Spirits. Invoker pinging out a ton of times. You would like to see someone come back here to help out. Ancient Apparition actually getting a kill here on the Earthshaker. These guys are dropping back, so pretty surprising they did manage to make something happen there, considering that there's the drums. There's actually no mana available for the... Oh, no. Tia's gonna die. Oh, she's still alive! Somehow. She needs a few more seconds here to be able to use her refraction again. Refract! Refract!
Please, leave me something.
It's funny, people get in these situations where they're stuck and they sort of make a few... Oh! There's an AA ult, but doesn't actually catch anyone. They make some suboptimal decisions, so she was probably going to die. She could have tried to refract and maybe juke and I guess TP, but that was actually one of the problems, was that
Radiant's bottom
Tia didn't
tower
bring a
is
TP
being
with her, so...
attacked. Is this part of
Always
the
carry a
elaborate
TP
track
unless you
you're
have a
going to
really good
spring on
reason
the
not to,
nation?
like say you need to
Because
buy
it
like a
looks
super
like
key
they're
item
really
for a big
falling
fight
for
or
it.
something. There's a ward coming out there from the line. Riki did spot that, so they know that it's there, which will be nice for them. They should be able to de-ward it fairly easily. Now Rikimaru is looking for an opportunity. He does have double damage. He's going to be doing a lot of damage, but he actually revealed himself slightly. I think he jumped or moved into tower range. There's a sentry coming out. Rikimaru, run away! So much burst damage here, and Lion does have another sentry available. So even if he tries to distance himself, he is throwing down the, what's it called? The cloud, which is a good decision from him. Ah!
Look away.
And Lion gets away with 25 health. So, oh no, Ogre Magi getting picked off as well here. Ogre needs to TP out. That stun is
Radiant's
off,
middle
or he's on
tower is
cooldown,
being
so
attacked.
the Ogre's gonna die as well, so this is one of those opportunities where, or one of those situations where someone gets picked off and you try to help, but
Dire's
by that point
bottom
it's too
tower
late,
is
so it's
under
better just to
attack.
let them die, because you're not gonna be able to save them from themselves. But it's fairly even so far. A, taking advantage of the fact that they know that there's a ward there, but Slark actually coming out here onto him, and he's TPing out. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it out in time. Oh, just barely. It's always fun when you get to see people with big, epic TPs to escape. Jump forward here with the amplified damage, going to give him sight. There's a cold snap coming out, but Ricky Mars coming from behind here to stab Invoker in the back. Needs to get that blink strike off to finish him off. Finishes off with the last blink strike. The big fight here for the Dire side and the Radiant as well. We managed to get another kill here. Slark jumping over onto the Ogre Magi. I think that Riki wants to find the Slark, but he's actually Mirana ulted, so it's going to be very hard for him. And there's also the potential for, oh man, and TA dying mid. So the Dire just executing better here in the mid game on the opportunities presented to them. They do have a team that's pretty able to find kills with the stuns available from Earthshaker and Lion. Invoker's burst abilities and CC, and then Slark's like just general slippiness or slipperiness. So at this point in the game, the 3 cores on the Dire side are pretty nicely farmed up. We haven't seen a Blink Dagger come out yet onto the Ogre Magi or the Earthshaker, so there is that to consider later on. That might end up turning something. But Slardar sees a Lion, decides to back up. It might not be real, but he doesn't want to risk it. I think he knows it isn't real at this point, but he actually blinks there to dodge the arrow. I think that arrow might have hit otherwise. It was a pretty good execution there on the angle, and yeah. That's all I have to say about the arrow. When I'm done this game, I need to adjust this mic. Oh, Invoker finding a kill here on the Ancient Emperor.
Whosoever stands against
Just
me
tearing them up pretty brutally. He does
briefly.
throw a silence out here. Is going to buy him a little bit of time. And actually jumps out and escapes the sentry. And there's no extra detection available. Yeah, I think it was just on the Invoker who had the sentry. So, or I guess it was Earthshaker who had the sentry. Even that Invoker has full inventory space. So a nice little juke there from Ricky Morrow. Escapes what looked like certain death, or almost certain death. But the Dire, or it's not the Dire, the Radiant. The Radiant now pushing. They've got 4 of them all together. Mirana's ult is available, and they've definitely got a pretty big advantage here. They're moving up towards the 10k territory. They should be able to take this tower pretty easily. Still would like to see a fortified here. Okay, that's going to delay them a bit, because you get that 3-4 again when they do die. Ricky Mara considering wrapping around here from the side. He could potentially turn this a little bit. Slark always has that ultimate available, though, so it's really hard to pick him off unless he's quite low on health. There is a Mirana ult. Slardar not going to be able to find the mark on anyone. So even as he wraps around, this is really risky for them. They're all invisible, so they know that the Mirana ult's there. He needs to get the refraction off. Refraction's going to save her from that damage. They're actually going to find a kill here on the Earthshaker. We'll see if anyone else does end up dying. Lion killing the Templar Assassin. That's 2 for 1 so far, so it looked like a good start, but it's kind of going really badly now. Let's get the mark off. There's a Sunstrike here up on top of and there's a sentry available, so Riki needs to get back. So this game just really not going the way of the Dire. There's a lot of opportunities lost, some misplays. Riki does manage to survive that, just barely. He's going to try and run home, so we'll see if he gets hit by a random arrow or something. Meanwhile, Invoker is pressuring mid, and it looks like more and more like this game is going to go the way of the Radiant. Which is fine, except for this guy being all BM, but he might just be joking, so still, it's fine. That's what happens. One team wins, one team loses.
Dire's middle tower is being attacked.
They've just been executing better throughout. The Dire side, it's been a little bit scattered. I think they were thrown off by those early kills that they found against their mid.
Haste.
And that kind of that failed smoke gank mid, which would have made a pretty big difference if they did manage to get it against the Invoker. Always helps a lot if you can get that first kill set up. The Meteor coming out here. Slaughter actually gets tickled by it right at the end there, so he's not going to be able to use his blink as he would have liked to, and we actually see him whiffing his stun as a result. Tia should stop chasing. She's been doing a lot of diving, which has really hurt her
Illusion.
her overall effectiveness. That's something that I like to do as well. I always end up diving and dying. Ancient Apparition ult coming out. It is going to hit on nothing, so this is not really a good opportunity for them to fight. They did get an AA ult in, but it actually didn't hit anything, so Tia needs to back up, and she's getting caught out again on the ice wall. There's actually a 3-man stun. Pretty well played here from this Slardar, but Mirana's gonna get away. No one else is gonna end up dying. Ogre Maja running out here trying to do some more damage. Just so many stuns. And I don't know. That might be a good game. 12,000 net worth advantage now for the
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
for the Radiant side. Just another example of, I don't know,
Radiant's top tower
the
is being
Dire decided to go in. TA overcommitted into, like, they didn't really have vision there. They didn't know who was there. They are behind, so they should be looking for fights on towers where they have vision as a result of their base. They have true sight from the tower, but instead they tried to kill, I guess it was Invoker there, but TA just got ice walled and destroyed. And I mean, considering how many times she's fallen to that ice wall and the fact that she didn't get a blink, she might want to consider, or she should have maybe considered getting a Force Staff just to help her out there with not getting caught out like that. They might have spotted the edge of that smoke. I'm not sure. We'll see how the Radiant reacts. This is kind of like one of the only things they can do. Slark's actually going to proc the smoke here. This is another risky fight. They don't have sight. And there's going to be an arrow coming and smash into Ricky's face. There's the dust coming out. Oh man, just really painful to see. Earthshaker smashing. They do get a kill on the line, but everyone else is dying. And they're not going to be able to hold them off. That's four down. Ricky Mar is still alive. Looks like he might maybe find a kill here on the... he does find a kill on the Earthshaker. And he's back in this again, so as long as he doesn't get hit by an arrow, oh my god. Just nothing going the way of the Dire. Super painful for those guys. And the net worth charts keep climbing, so this is probably going to be a set of racks. Even though a bunch of them are coming back, it does manage to catch a TA here in her base. She's choosing to turn and fight. There's A ult! Oh my god, she got a kill on Slark! Will this be the turnaround? No, don't chase TA. I mean, this is actually a good opportunity for her to chase, because there's only 2 left. I actually thought there were more alive, and she's going to run over into her death. There's another arrow coming out, doesn't find the TA this time. Invoker just straight up buying that Necro 3.
Regeneration.
It's going to be a huge pain for the Rikimaru, and Necro 3 is super useful actually for de-warding. It's a nice risk-free de-ward, so we'll see if he does end up using it for that purpose or not. So with that Slark kill, there's a slight dip in the net worth graph. They are still 15,000 ahead. I did say it's pretty much GG, and I still think that it probably is, but in any game of Dota that you play, I mean, if you execute properly, if you punish them for overcommitting like that Slark did, it is possible to find yourself some kills, even if you're really far behind. So there is still some potential here for the Dire side, who have now become the underdogs after a pretty reasonably weighted early game. Slardar working his way up to an armlet now. This is really risky for them. They don't have sight. They don't know where the enemy team is. Guys, oh man, there's an arrow coming out. It is going to hit Ogre right there in the back. Slardar does manage to stun without being caught out, but it looks like Ogre Marja is going to die. They really shouldn't turn around on this. Yeah, okay, so they're playing a little bit safer now. Ogre Marja just ended up getting picked off as a result of that arrow, and as they should have, they decided to turn back. And really nice arrow from Mirana. She's been doing actually a really good job landing those arrows, so maybe that's why the Mirana first pick came out, just because this person's pretty good at playing Mirana. Riki is farming top, but he actually needs to come back and help his team, like, really badly. Like, Rikimaru. I hate it when people do this. Riki, your tier 3 is being attacked. Rikimaru,
Radiant's top tower
your tier
is
3 is
under
being
siege.
attacked. What are you
Dire
gonna,
has
like, what are you gonna
fortified
accomplish?
structures.
Okay, so
Dire's
it comes
middle
back,
tower is
but there's a
under
Necro
attack.
free here, so yes, be
Let's
careful.
be pretty.
Slam coming out on
Top
2 of them
tower
here.
is under attack.
Will Sparta armlet,
Dire's
armlet,
middle
Sparta
tower
armlet.
is
Ah, he didn't turn on his armlet in time. He's gonna end up dying as a result. Invoker does fall, so that's 1 for 1 so far. TA is taking a lot of damage. Riki does buy back. Sorry, that's 2 for 1, I guess. Ogre looking for a stun here on the Slark. Slark is actually gonna die. So they're diving up into the base. Nice fish are gonna block everyone off here from the
Dire's
Earthshaker.
middle barracks has been destroyed.
And they get the range racks. That's only 1 set of racks, but there was a buyback from, oh man, another arrow coming out from Mirana, gonna hit Ogre right in the face. We'll see if Rikimaru can maybe find a kill. I don't think he's actually gonna try to, though. He's just gonna choose to farm in the jungle or something. No bottle on the Mirana, but she's gonna pick up the Invis rune. So.
Unseen.
Let's take, what was the effect of that? Oh, they still got they got a tower, they got a lot of kills, so still worth it. As Invoker was saying, worth. Riki gonna find a regen rune. I imagine he'll just grab it. Not sure about the buyback from Rikimaru. It's kind of hard to gauge whether you should buy back or not. A in a lot of trouble, doesn't know it, but Mirana right on top of him. He gets, oh man.
Monster kill!
That like minimum range arrow is just there's nothing you can do about that. So the Radiant, or sorry, the Dire here. There's the amp damage coming out. There's actually no lifesteal though on either of these heroes. So it's going to be a little bit difficult for them to tank out the Roche. But they are doing a lot of damage here as a result of Slardar's abilities, and they might be able to find a pick off quick enough. Mirana ult did come out here for the Radiant side. They're actually chasing down the Rikimaru, who does grab the regen rune, and this leash gives an idea to what's his face. Okay, so they have an inkling that they're trying to do Roshan. There's a mech coming out. He actually misses the amp damage because the spell shield was up. Oh, just another painful occurrence here for these guys.
Dire's middle barracks is being
TA
attacked.
is gonna die. Ogre's gonna die.
Double kill!
And the Aegis is gonna go the way of the Radiant. So this is likely gonna be the end of the mid rack.
Roshan has fallen to the Radiant.
And yeah, not sure how the Dire side's gonna play.
Dire's top
They do have
tower
Slaughter
is
up pretty
under
soon,
siege.
but Earthshaker just right up here on top of the
Killing spree!
Rikimaru gonna get the kill there. Slark is running in here with a Shadow Blade. Doesn't actually tether, so Ancient Apparition has a
Dire's
chance.
top
I don't know
tower is
about
under
the
attack.
decision there to
Took the bait.
try and TP. He was very close to his base, so it
Dire's
might have
middle
made more sense for him
barracks
just to
is
try
under
and run in.
attack.
Mid
Dire's
melee
middle
rack's going
barracks is
down.
fallen.
They're gonna go ahead and push out the outer lanes now.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
So
Fall down.
Slaughter does find a kill here on the Earthshaker, and they're gonna look to maybe go on the Slark. Slark does have his Invis and his
Dire's
ult up,
bottom
so
tower,
he's
Dire's
still
bottom
super
tower
slippery.
has been destroyed.
And looks like Slark actually looking for an opportunity. They're gonna jump over onto the that purge, though, gonna get rid of all of the CC.
Dire's
And now
bottom
he's
tower
got
is
so
under
many
siege.
stats stolen. Oh my god, he's got 26 stacks of it. This game just like never going the way here of the nice armor
Dire's
toggling
bottom
on
tower is
Slaughter's
under
part.
attack.
TA doesn't manage to refract that lightning.
Double kill.
Man, that lion alt. And we might actually just see them just push through here. Oh, the A alt doesn't hit. Just barely misses Mirana. Who pees her pants a little bit. There's another purge coming out. Slark taking full advantage there of that purge. He does end up dying, but at the same time, there's still 3 of them up, and they're still pressuring mid, so. Pretty valiant of the Dire to continue fighting here, and in this case, I mean, they're pretty far behind, but they're still giving it a shot. They might be able to find something, maybe. This next team fight's gonna be pretty important. If they can get a pick off, if they can punish them for pushing as 3. There's nice, huge stun there from the Slark. Slardar gets a kill there on the Invoker. He did have an Aegis though, so it's gonna come back up and annoy them again. They're doing a lot of damage though. They managed to clear him out. The Necro dudes almost finished off the Rikimaru. So that was really well played there from Alan Scott, coming in, slamming right down on top of everyone, getting that. I think it was a stun on every single person. So a 4-man stun, setting up really nicely. AA ult also hitting there, preventing any health regeneration and essentially taking away 10% of their max HP because of the fact that they shatter when they're at that threshold, that 10% threshold. So they have an opportunity to push here. They can probably go ahead and take out maybe the mid tower. It is a little bit risky though because Slark will be back up, and even though there are 3 of them here, they could potentially get picked off by Slark. Slark just has that ability to find pickoffs, even if there's multiple people, just because he's able to jump
Radiant's
in,
middle
use his
tower is
purge,
being attacked.
get all his extra stacks of
Radiant has
stats,
fortified
and
its
then
structures.
jump out with his ultimate. He's actually wrapping around here on the side. Slardar, ooh, blinks away at the last moment. Not sure if he sensed that he was in trouble. Maybe he saw the edge of a TP or something. But Slark is going hard on the move speed here. He's actually max move speed when he's invisible as a result of his Sanjiasha. So he's ripping around the map pretty nicely there. And looks like they're going to go ahead and pressure top, which makes sense for them.
You're bound.
Is there a gem? No. Oh, there's a sentry ward. Oh man, Ricky.
My
Oh, he's gonna die. They're trying to fight here on the Mirana, but they get fissured off
Common snake thief.
by the Earshaker. Now the TA's out of position. TA just really struggling this entire game. Hasn't really been able to find a foothold. That's 2 pickoffs. So they had a really good hold here at the bottom tower, but they kind of squandered that by Riki wandering around invis, which works earlier on, but later on there's just too much opportunity for detection to be up and for you to get picked off. So Slark really just a menace here from the other side. AA ult is going to go over onto Slark, so it's going to prevent him from regenning while he's hacking away. No mech for the Ogre Maja. Might have saved him. Slark does die though. There's the Sunstrike. Not going to find a kill this time around.
Dire's middle tower
Radiant
is
pushing
being
out.
attacked.
I think they're going to finish this game pretty quickly.
Dire's structures have been
There is a fort
fortified.
going to buy them a brief respite. They do have 2 more
Dire's
people,
top
so they'll be
tower
ready
is
with
under
4
attack.
4v4 in 10 seconds. So they could potentially swing this fight if Slard is able to land another big
Dire's
stun.
top
They are a lot
tower has
more
fallen.
spaced out though than they were before. Slardar running in here, does catch one out, does have his BKB, he's able to attack without being interrupted. A nice force staff going to help Invoker out a lot. Oh, and TA almost gets the kill. Like, it's pretty much like this whole game. TA almost gets it, but not quite. Mirana turning back here onto the Slardar. He's taking so much damage. Actually killed himself there with the Mjolnir shield. Rikimaru gonna get picked off.
No.
A is the only one remaining. Ogre is coming up now though.
Dire's middle tower is
But that's
under
gonna be
attack.
GG. They're gonna clear out this top racks. Oh man, that tornado just goes so far. It went like the length of
Dire's
the base
middle
pretty
tower
much.
is
There's an
under
arrow coming out, hits Ogre right in the face. Ogre getting smashed now by oh, and Riki does still find a kill here in the end. Jumps right back over onto Lion. That's 2 dead, so they're choosing to dive the base instead of taking out the racks. Ice shattering the Mirana. They really need to clear these creeps off of the racks. Yeah, I thought it was game over, but the Radiant throwing it a little bit there with the way they're playing. So a little... I wonder if Lion's referring to his relationship with Rikimaru. Slark just running right in there, right over on top of... and he goes invisible, so...
Dire's middle tower
We're going to be
is
looking
under
for the...
attack.
Oh, there's a defusal.
Yes, yes. Oh, that was a great
Oh, and he
idea.
manages to purge out the stun.
So
They're still
what's
chasing though.
happening
Rikimaru
here
jumping
then?
forward onto him. Does have another defusal available if he does choose to use it. Uses the defusal. Uses the Slark's just way too on point with his purges there,
Dire's
preventing himself
top
from taking
barracks is being
damage
attacked.
rather consistently. The Rack's taking a lot of damage in the meantime. If we take a look here at starters items he's got. His
Dyer's middle
BKB, which you
tower
mentioned
is being
earlier.
attacked.
There's a BKB up on Riki actually, which I didn't notice. Ag's surprisingly up on Ancient Apparition. Mech and a Force Staff. Looks like there might be a fight here. Looking for a kill on the Earthshaker. He just barely gets away. TA attacking the Slark here while he's just making short work of the Riki. The Meteor hitting both of them. Ogre Maja gonna die as well. Does manage to throw it a stun at the last moment. Sardar looking for the kill here on the
Dyer's
line.
middle tower
Oh
is
man, but he has to back
siege.
up and...
Killing spree. Double
Anyways,
kill.
Gem on the Earthshaker, Blink, and Eggs. Eggs, Force Staff. Oh man. Double
Dyer's middle
boots on the
tower is
Invoker.
being
I like to do
attacked.
this as well. You start with Phase, you get boots of travel, and then you switch over once you get your next item. It's just, it's fun to get that really high move speed for a little bit. Slark actually doesn't have that many items, but he's been finding a ton of kills, and he's got a pretty
Dyer's
good
top
gold bank
barracks
right
has
now.
been destroyed.
That Sanj and Yasha really been paying
Dyer's middle
dividends for
tower is
him.
under
Mech and
siege.
Blink up online, and Mjolnir looks like working up to a Scotty for the Mirana,
Dyer's
so this
middle
game
tower
likely
is
going
on
to be
Dyer's
ending
bottom
very
tower
soon.
has fallen.
Riki choosing to take out the melee Necro Creep. Doesn't really matter at this point, but it's just, I don't know, when you're squishy like that and you have other people potentially going to be going on you, it's just
Dyer's bottom
just very
barracks has
risky.
been destroyed.
Slark going right in the
Dyer's
fountain
bottom
there.
barracks is under
GG
attack.
called by the Riki Mari. Oh, the arrow just barely misses. Oh, actually, that's an
Dyer's
Earthshaker.
bottom barracks has fallen.
TA's gonna die. He's diving right in there. Did you get the gem back? Maybe? No, okay. So GG, really well played by the Radiant. The Dire did have a chance early on, but a lot of fights just barely not going their way. Yeah, and as a result, the Radiant continuing to build momentum. So they'll move forward. I think this is a best of one tourney, so that's the end of the Dire team. The Radiant will move forward, and we'll check out the next game in a bit.